A lot of people think that power of sale listings are always an awesome deal, and that's not necessarily the case. But some of the ones we're going to look at today are pretty good. These aren't just deals, these are distressed sales, and some of the numbers are absolutely brutal for the people involved. Today I'm going to break down 4 Ottawa power of sale homes that firmed up in the last few months. I'm going to show you exactly what they sold for versus what the owners paid for them. And what a lot of people don't understand about power of sales is that the goal isn't always to squeeze out top dollar. In many cases, they're just trying to get the deal done as quickly as possible. The timeline is compressed, there's less patience on the part of the seller, who is normally a lender, and the price reductions can come fast and furious, faster than regular sellers often want to admit. And that's why I think it's important to keep an eye on power of sales, because they're the market's early warning system. They can show us where prices are heading before everybody else is in touch with that reality. Today, I've pulled 4 specific examples from across the city, and a couple of them, especially the one at the end, is really a gut-wrenching loss. All right, so the first one we are going to take a look at here is 1843 Brosseau Crescent. This is in Orleans in the East End. Was originally listed for $484,900, sold for $450,000. So they negotiated down about 35 grand. And this one was only on the market for 13 days, apparently. Let's see if that was actually the case. And it was sold in September. Quick closing. Sold beginning of September, closed on September 25th. And as far as sales history goes, let's see here. Oh, they purchased it in 2021 for $513, listed it for sale at $484, and then accepted an offer for $450. So the loss on this one, not too crazy, about 35 grand, which is not great when you take into consideration all the fees and stuff they would have had to pay to do the transactions, but overall, not the worst we're gonna see today. And let's take a quick look at the photos, because this is a detached property in Orleans that sold for $450, which is a rockin' deal on the face of it. But as you can see, pretty rough overall. The floors completely need to be redone. Drywall on the ceiling needs to be completely redone. Oh yeah, some of the drywall on the walls as well. Pretty much a complete gut job. The kitchen might be serviceable. It's a power of sales, so all the appliances are going to be as is, but even if they're working, most people are going to want to completely redo this before they move in. Bathroom. Oh, the bathroom's not the worst. And this is a bedroom, I believe. So we've got just subfloor there. So at least you don't have to pull up the hardwood yourself. You could just buy the new floor and install it. Got a busted out window there. Some old, I think that's just the old kind of shiny laminate you can see there. But for $450, not the worst deal. I wonder what happened here. I wonder why like all of the drywall is missing. Because this looks like it was either finished at some point or they started finishing it, because we've got all this. They could install drywall here, but they didn't. Backyard's not terrible. Get rid of that shed, trim back those trees and hedges. Not the worst. Again, for $450, not bad, not bad. So that's number 1. That's the first power of sale we're going to look at. Number 2 is going to be 2647 Ayers Avenue. This one was listed for $559,900, sold for $515,000. So they took a little bit more of a haircut on the negotiation there. On the market, 106 days. Woo! Let's look at the sales history here. So this one, oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, this one they bought in 2024. So like a year and a half before they sold it. In March of 2024, they paid $632,500. And I looked at this listing, it looked pretty much the same. They didn't do anything to it. I kind of, when I first saw like the interior of this place, I thought they might have done it as like a flip, but it doesn't look like they did that. They tried to sell it for $609 a couple of months after they bought it. And then they consistently just had to go down $599, back up to $619, $599, $559, conditional sale, and then eventually a $515 firm sale. So if we look at the photos here, again, a detached property, a decent little backyard there. Hardwood looks decent. Kitchen is not big, but all the appliances and stuff look new. Some tiny ass photos. Okay, I think that might be hardwood in there. I can't tell if that's hardwood or laminate. That looks like hardwood. And then is that hardwood in the basement? Huh. Unfinished basement. Man, they paid $632 for this in 2024. Okay, so that's the story on this one. So they paid $632. They sold for $515. So they took more than $100,000 loss on this one in like a year and a half. And this was not even factoring in things like realtors fees, that sort of thing. So a really nasty loss on this one. Now, number 3 is 2172 Valenceville Crescent again in Orleans. This one sold for $900,000, was originally listed at $950,000, was on the market 26 days, at least at that price. So if we take a look at the photos for this one looks like more of a complete house. Yeah, this looks decent. Bit of an older style hardwood, but looks clean. Nice gas fireplace there. All the windows and stuff, the doors all look pretty new, well taken care of. Very decent looking kitchen. Very decent looking. Not bad at all. I don't know about that backsplash, but no accounting for taste. Lots of cabinet space. Nice little built-in like oven and microwave oven. Big island. Yeah, kitchen's a big selling feature here. And then lots of natural light in there too. I think maybe enough space for a little eat-in kitchen. Living area on the main floor. And then, oh, where's this? I wonder if this is in the basement. Okay, so there's another kitchenette. Is there appliances there and stuff? I don't see a fridge or anything, but this could easily, but there's obviously plumbing, so this could easily be set up as like an in-law suite or something like that. Very cool. Nice. Could work for the multi-generational living. Is that a walkout down there? Can't tell if there's a door outside. No, it doesn't look like it. Still, very nice. Nice big staircase going upstairs. Okay, we've got another corner room here with lots of light. Again, it looks like hardwood throughout. Like this is quite a nice place. Got a walk-in closet, another smaller looking bedroom. I'm assuming, I don't know if this is the ensuite or the main bathroom. Okay, that's probably the main bathroom. And this is probably the ensuite. Double sinks. God, how many bedrooms are in this place? Another bathroom. Is that 4 bathrooms? I want to see that backyard. Got upstairs laundry, I think. And then we got a backyard here with a nice deck. Not bad. So this one's obviously a step above the other ones. And looking at the sales history here, $950 sold for $900. I want to take a look and see what they paid originally. So they bought this one. This is classic. So they bought this one in November of 2021, and the like holiday market or the end of the year price drop, activity drop didn't really happen in 2021 for those who remember. Prices were still and sales volume was still very high that time of year. Got a $1.2 million sale, and then they ended up having to sell for $900,000 power of sale off after just 4 years. So they took a $300,000 loss on their sales price. Pretty brutal. Bam! Wardrobe change for number 4. I realized when I was editing that I was looking at the wrong listing. I was looking at one of the expired listings rather than the one that sold. So this is the one I was looking at before, and the one I should have been looking at is down here. So I am restarting, looking at the correct listing. So the sales price for 78 Friendly, which was number 4, was $759 from a list price of $769. This is located in Stittsville South. And you can see for this one, the sales history also had a lot going on. So we're going to start there. It was originally listed in February of 2025 for $1,063,900, purchased in 2022 for $980,000. And we can see this one went on quite the journey. Terminated after a few weeks, came back at $1,019,000, down to $975,000, down below $899,000 by the time we hit August of 2025. And then came down even further to $799, eventually conditionally sold at that $799 price point, and then came back to market 10 days later. So something came up in the inspection, or something happened with the buyer's financing, or they got cold feet. Not sure exactly what happened there, but these guys were motivated. They came back at $769 and finally ended up selling at $759.9. I remember watching this one for a while as it was happening, and yeah, lots and lots of price decreases and updates before they finally got this one sold. And to look at the interior, it's actually reasonably nice in there. Not a great photo. This is a power of sale, so it's not overly surprising that they just kind of did like quick photos, but you can see like a decent kitchen in there. Kitchen, I would say, is probably one of the highlights. Hardwood, nice gas fireplace. All the doors and the windows and stuff look relatively new. Kitchen, a definite highlight. Spiral staircase going upstairs. We got the primary bedroom here, which is right at the top of the stairs. We got a nice ensuite walk-in closet. There's the ensuite. And then, oh, we cut right to the basement. Okay. In the last listing, they had some digital staging of the basement and they made it look awesome. And then the next photo was this photo, and you could see the stains in the carpet and stuff. The digital staging was doing a lot of heavy lifting in that first listing, but here they just gave us the actual photo of what it looked like. So a lot of extra space down there with the finished basement, but clearly needs some work. Like that carpet almost for sure needs to be replaced immediately. Got another bedroom bedroom down there as well. We've got an in-ground pool, which is nice. And the one thing it doesn't show is the upper floor where the other bedrooms are. The hallway is quite tight, but a decent property overall. And finally did get to be sold for $759. Again, for a pretty big detached in Stittsville, that's a really good price and came down from over $1 million throughout the year. All right, time for a really awkward transition back into me being properly dressed. Sorry guys, there was no way I was changing back into my dress shirt. It was late. So that kind of gives you an idea of what the foreclosure market can look like. And you can see just how merciless the companies are, the mortgage companies that are selling these places. They want to get the deal done. They put the place up. If it doesn't sell in X amount of time, they drop the price, and they drop the price again, and they drop the price again. And that's something that you often don't see from sellers. A lot of people that are still living in the house and that are financially comfortable, they'll just be like, okay, not the time to sell. We'll stay here for another couple years and see if the market recovers. When it gets to the point where it's a foreclosure or a power of sales, suddenly they're in a position where the lender just wants to sell it to recoup their losses. And that is where you get prices like this. So it's good to keep an eye on these listings. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions or you're curious what any specific properties sold for, don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you so much for watching and have a wonderful rest of your day.